Okay, so much for reformulating. Oh, ni hao, wish is Stephanie. I cannot get my phone to behave right now. I think it's going to fall off of my tripod. I'm still using that really cheap, like dollar store-ish Spanish tripod that I bought, and I don't really want you to see our closet, so I'm gonna like be down here. The lighting on my phone is really weird. Huh. Okay, we're just gonna stay down here. Hi! It's been a really long time. Like a really long time. Like a really long time. So I just had my first italki lesson. Yeah, I scheduled a lesson with the gentleman I talked about in the last one, and I had to cancel it twice. Once for jet lag, and it's really weird to be down here. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna put you on a yoga block and see if that helps. Oh my god, that's so much better. You are now on a box and a yoga block on top of my tripod. You do what you can. Okay, so what's my point? So I had to cancel twice. Once for jet lag and once for, I don't even remember the other time. Oh, I was at a doctor's appointment that went over, and since it was the second time with the same person that I had to cancel, I felt really bad. So I just said, let's just pretend it happened, and I'll catch you when I catch you, and just, I wanted to get him paid because I felt bad messing him around. I hate canceling on things. Anyway, so I decided, since the scheduling wasn't working with my crazy work schedule and my life, that I needed to try a different approach, because I really did want to try italki. I really do want to start putting a bit more of the human touch into my reading, if that's possible. And I think it is, because I just did it! I did a spontaneous italki lesson. Yeah, look, despite the fact that I speak on this channel a lot, like a lot, does not mean I'm particularly comfortable with it. When it comes to English, I don't have to think so much about the language I'm using, but I'm super self-conscious when I speak in other languages. Most of the time, I'd say at least 90 to 95, and I want to get over that before the Polyglot Conference in October. Gee, do you think that's too much to do in what, 11 months? Me too, but I'm gonna try anyway. So, yeah, the first lesson, awesome. I actually, I couldn't pick the gentleman that I had the first two almost lessons with, but I did, one of the gentlemen that I had flagged as having an interesting profile that matched what I wanted was online. So I requested a spontaneous half-hour lesson. It was awesome. I ended up sending him pictures. We were working on a sentence from chapter 3. Yes, I have just started officially chapter 3 half an hour ago. I've been talking about starting chapter 3 for a while. Life. So yeah, we just started it, and without actually looking at the vocabulary, I just wanted to kind of play with what I could do with a spontaneous person that doesn't know the book that I'm working with, or what I could do with someone who doesn't have like a history with me. Like, could I talk to different people on italki and have them help me with different things? And if I talk to different people, will I get a, what's my logic in this? Will I get enough of a standard accent where I can understand the language when it comes from different accents? And will I be able to get my tones sweeped up enough, at least with the text I'm working with, where it's somewhat understandable? I also want to work on my emergency language with speaking with people. Like, could you repeat that? What was that? I can't do, can you spell that? What is the equivalent of can you spell that in Chinese? I never thought about that question before. Do you say what radical is that? What character is that? I don't know. When you can't figure out which word is that, you don't say what tone is that, do you? I don't know. But that kind of language where when you're talking to someone and you don't understand what they're saying and you have to backtrack and ask them to do something so you can understand. So, unlike where I thought I would be with the language, going to Spain and speaking Spanish, albeit very functional restaurant and store Spanish, has led me to a speaking component of my Chinese that I did not anticipate happening. insert 1 week for getting a cold in Berlin and a couple of weeks of just dealing with coming back from vacation and life and work coming back, and I've lost 3 weeks. However, I lose even more if I don't get back on it now. So I'm back on it. So what we did during my half-hour lesson was awesome. I sent him pictures of the 2 pages of the book, and I asked him to focus on the one sentence. And so what we just did in this one lesson, it was just half an hour, is we just went over the sentence again and again and again and again, and we kind of chunked it up, and he helped with some of the blended language. And it's sort of an inauthentic task because the sentences in this reading book, and just to show you once, the Rapid Literacy in Chinese by Zhang Pengpeng, the sentences here are an autobiographic article on a person. So it's kind of inauthentic to read it aloud, but I gotta start somewhere. So there you go. And since my ultimate goal is reading, I'd rather animate the reading text that I'm working on than work on functional language out in the wild that I really don't want to focus on right now. Because if I can see the Hansa characters, which I can in this book, then I'm more likely to remember the language, and then eventually I'll get around to the functional speaking and being able to do things in Chinese instead of in English in Shanghai and wherever I travel in China. But I really, really want to enter the language through the visual part of it. It's worked pretty good so far, although I am a slow learner, but you know what? If I don't do anything, it's even slower because it stops. So, yeah, so that was really good. It was really good. It was really embarrassing. I think we switched off of video for technical reasons, and we were just doing audio, going back and forth and back and forth. And that worked really, really well because then he couldn't see how embarrassed I was, and I could get over myself and just try to repeat what he was saying. And so I made all kinds of notes in my book on like syllables that would be skipped and things that were blended together. Like there was one part, okay, I'm going to go glary with my glasses here. There was one part that was like, Jiao Shima. If I do it in the inauthentic form, it's like, Jiao Shima Mingzu. But he said that the Shima ma and the Mingzu kind of blend together. Blending. I know blending. I used to teach language, you know, and there's blending in Spanish too, right? I mean, yeah, so I know blending. So Jiao Shi Mingzu, Jiao Shi Mingzu, Jiao Shi Mingzu, something like that. Instead of Jiao Shi Mo Mingzu, it's more of Jiao Shin Mingzu. That makes no sense, does it? Because I'm not reading the full sentence to you. I haven't read the English version of the sentence yet, so I'm not entirely sure what's being said in this, but again, it's building up an autobiography, so I kind of have a little bit idea what they're talking about. So here's the sentence, and it's going to sound bad, because we did this for about 20 minutes, back and forth, and again, I'm not going for perfection. I'm just going to animate the stuff I'm reading so I could get the visuals and the sounds in my head so I can keep motivated with the book because I really like this book. I'm not letting go. I like this book a lot. Oh, if I sit right here, there's no glare. Only I can't move my head and read the book when I do that. Here, wait, let me try this. Oh, okay, let's do this. So I'll try to do this in the chunking way that he taught me. I'm going to mess it up, so here we go. Here we go. 如果你不知道 Bushido. That's something we practice. Bushido. Ni Bushido. Rugo ni Bushido. Samen Shui Shao. Oh, Shui Shao Shitang. Yeah, that one's wrong. He Santing Fuyon Jiao Shen Mingzu. Zhouqi Wen Tamen Shaojie Nin Guoxing. Yeah, that was 20 minutes of my life right there. And I still did it, I'm sure, terribly, terribly wrong. But what has happened is now I am interested in listening to the audio file of a few things have happened. One, the audio file that I have that has sort of the, that comes with the book that I think, and I'll find out tomorrow, but I think is, how about we find out now? I think is prematurely prematurely, I can't help myself. What am I saying? Like, it doesn't blend. And the people in it who they're reading it for a very low level, I think, of students, and they do it kind of artificially. And I want more of the blended, because as much as I want to read newspapers, which is my ultimate goal, I wouldn't mind listening to newscasts as well, and I'm guessing those would be blended as well. It might be more formal than informal language on the streets, which would be very, very, very blended, but I think it would still be, you still wouldn't pronounce every single syllable. What? What language do they pronounce every syllable? You're going to say Japanese, aren't you? I bet you are. No, that's not true, actually. I think I know that that is not true. Okay, chapter 3. Let's listen and see how blended this is. Let's see if we can listen. Come on. My phone has forgotten that it works. Come on, baby, let's go. Maybe I can talk about something while it's thinking. Why is it not working? That is super strange. Maybe if I download it, it'll be better. Available offline, even though I'm online. Download. Okay, let's try that. Super bizarre. Super bizarre. So, my first half-hour lesson's done. It was a spontaneous lesson, so when I had time, I signed on, I had the lesson. So I think that's going to be more of the way to go. And I'll have to see how my schedule goes and see how many of those I can do a week. I'd love to do 2. I think that half-hour lesson was only like $5, which is crazy because it's spontaneous and it's cheaper. But I'm sure it depends on the person. But I think that was really good. I don't necessarily, again, need to have the same person over and over. Part of why I'm doing this is to get different sounds in my head and to kind of liven it up. And if I do get some of the same people over and over, then that's fine too, but I don't necessarily just want one tutor. So I think not being able to schedule the lesson in any sort of logical, premeditated way is going to end up being a good thing in the end. These spontaneous lessons, I think, will fit better when I have like a question while I'm studying and things. I can't get the audio to work. That's so sad. Anyway, when I have a question, like a burning question and things, I'll still make the video, but then I can go on italki and actually ask these questions and practice the whatchamacallit stuff. And this tutor was talking about words that usually go together. Like he was saying, you generally won't hear woo without woo guo. I'm not saying that right. I can't even see the tone right now. Sorry. I've been working all day and my eyesight is absolutely fill in the blank with whatever expletive I was going to do. Yeah, the audio's not going to work, so I'm going to have to tell you about that later. Ruguo, which is like if result. I don't quite understand the sentence yet, but he said those generally, you won't see ru without guo. So well, that's really helpful. Like that's one of those frequency things that I think really, really helps. And I know I could study lists of this, but as I'm studying this vocabulary on these 2 pages, having little gems like that dropped into these spontaneous half-hour lessons, fleshed out with a person, I think this might work. This might work. And if they're anywhere close to like $5 a lesson, that's pretty cool. Because I was willing to pay like full price for an hour, and I'm not really sure I could keep my attention for an hour lesson, to be honest with you. Half hour is great. I think that's going to keep me going for at least 3 or 4 days now. Whew, so I finally did it. Oh my God, that was really hard. That was really, really hard. Not just trying to make the sounds, but getting past myself. Getting past how badly I sound speaking Chinese. Again, it's not my full goal. And I told him that, and he was really cool with me just kind of getting the blending down and not necessarily like overemphasizing the tones and things like that. And but I also didn't want it to be me saying, you perform, I'll give you a sentence and you say it over and over, because that's not what I wanted either. So I think that worked really, really well. I think the next lesson that I do with someone this week, Friday or Saturday or something, I think I'll probably start working on some of that emergency language. And if there's specific words in these 2 pages that I have a problem saying, or questions about their meaning, then maybe I'll bring that up then. But I think for each lesson, going through the sounds of the individual sentence one time with one tutor works fine. And then I can go into the nitty-gritty and start studying it by myself. and then come back with questions. I think that's a really good rhythm to have. So maybe 2 lessons a week. If I set a goal of 2 lessons a week, that's very, very doable if they're half-hour spontaneous lessons that I can do on my phone. We started out with Skype, which is really tricky here in China. It doesn't work that great, and I haven't used it in so long that sending a file, the photo, wasn't great. But he also had WeChat, so I think we switched over to that in the end. So that worked. But I could probably do Skype in the future. I have 2 phones, they both have Skype on them. I just can't do anything on my computer with Skype because Linux and Skype do not play well together. And I hate going over to the Windows side of my computer. Sorry, Windows, you suck. Now my computer's gonna explode. Nope, we're good. Okay, so there's huge language guilt that has left my shoulders. I think I'm back on track now. And I think I will finally be able to get out of my own way and start studying this vocabulary again. How I do it now that I'm home, am I going to still use those little flashcards I was doing during vacation? I'm not entirely sure yet. I might just go to town on this sentence and try to just keep reading it over and over and over and over with the hunts of characters and try to cement it in that way. Because I really like full context. I'm not fully convinced I'm a flashcard person. I know they're useful. I do. I don't know. It's been months and I keep starting and stopping with them. So I think I might just do that. I think I might just go to town on chapter 3 this week. I'm so relieved. That was so hard. Oh my God. Okay, but I want to get over this by October of next year. I don't even know how I'm going to afford this vacation, but by October of next year, I want to be able to read much more. I definitely want to be done with this book. Okay, that's scary. I want to be done with this book before then. I want to have some functional Chinese language to do very basic conversations, tidy up a little bit of my Spanish, work on some verb tenses, and maybe get some German down. But that's super lofty. Maybe after I get 2 lessons a week down in Chinese and I get used to those spontaneous lessons, maybe I can do some spontaneous lessons in German and just work on like a sentence a week. I don't know. I don't want to have so many goals that I can't do them and then I get back in the deer in headlights thing that I've been in for the past 2 weeks. It hasn't really been just that. There's been a lot of stuff happening as well. Not language related and not worthy of this channel. Or is not what I meant to say at all. Not of the topic of this channel. That was an awkward sentence. Okay, before I say anything else, super duper obvious. Have I ever showed you? This is my phone. I'm actually recording on my US phone that doesn't work phone-wise in China, but I use it to videotape. This is my phone that I bought in Hong Kong that works in China. Phone, text message, WeChat, all that kind of stuff. Look at this cover. I love fun covers. But because we bought the phone in Hong Kong and they don't have this model here, it's just a Samsung, but they don't have this model here, so I have very limited covers that I can have, so I figured if I don't have much of a choice, I'm going to get goofy. Here we go. Oh yeah, I can picture that being the picture that goes with this thingy. There's something really exciting happening tomorrow night, and it's part of why I pushed myself to do the italki lesson tonight. So in advance, thank you, Ophelia. And the rest of you will understand what that means after that is over. Secret, I've got a secret. Okay, thank you so much. I'm going to be back online more now. I promise. I will try. I will desperately try. It's a busy work month, but I'm going to try anyway. I'll try to get back on Twitter, back on YouTube, all that kind of stuff. Worst case scenario, I'm going to be back on studying right after I sleep and work tomorrow. Okay. 谢谢你. 再见. Goodbye.